How's it, chaps, and welcome back to the Burton Builds Garage. In today's episode, we are going to compare 5 common microphones and specifically the way they sound. Now, we're going to chop and change between each microphone during the course of the video so you can hear the differences between each microphone. There's quite a varying price range, and these are the most common microphones that a lot of us are going to be using. So, stick around and let's get started. So the reason I decided to record this little tech insert, if you will, is because I asked myself the question, which of my different microphones should I use? Now, I'm sure many of you have had the similar question. Maybe you've got multiple microphones, or maybe you are looking at buying your first microphone and you're not quite too sure what to get. Of course, there are hundreds, probably thousands of reviews on YouTube, so definitely check a lot of them out before you make a purchase, especially an expensive purchase. But specifically for my case, I had a couple of microphones, and I do a lot of recording, outside, some filming of racing, I do voiceovers, and I do a bit of recording here in the garage. And as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, garages aren't really very acoustically good. They're very echoey. There's a lot of reverb that goes on. It's really just not a good space for recording audio. Now, of course, we're always trying to strive to do our best, and that's why I'm sure you guys, that's why you are looking at buying a microphone to improve your audio quality. Now, for today's video, I just need to clear up 2 or 3 items. Specifically, the first one, this is a garage, like I said. The front half of the garage, so this bit that you are not really seeing here, you can kind of see a little bit over there and a little bit over there. It has been acoustically treated. There are sound blankets behind the camera. The ceiling has, roof, not really a ceiling, but the roof has been done with like an acoustic bat. It's about 135 millimeters thick, and it sounds a lot different in the front of the garage compared to the back of the garage, which we'll have a look at later. So just keep that in mind. Also, I'm not going to apply any audio corrections of any sort to any of these microphones for the duration of this video. The only thing I'm going to do is to normalize the volume to -23 LUFS. That's loudest units full scale, just so that everything can be sort of comparable in volume. Otherwise, the audio chain that we are using, we're recording all of these microphones simultaneously into this unit. It's the Zoom F6 field recorder, and you can actually see it is running and all the levels are relatively balanced. And we've got the RODE NTG5 in channel number 1. We've got the Sennheiser E835. This is a dynamic microphone in channel number 2. In channel number 3, we've got the RODE Video Mic Pro Plus. That's in channel number, as I said, 3. In channel number 4, we've got this. This is the RODE SmartLav Plus. That's connected directly through the VXLR. Well, both of that and this next microphone, the RODE Video Micro, is also connected in there. So simultaneous recordings to get a apples with apples comparison. Now, just to quickly talk about the cost of these microphones. Starting with the cheapest microphone is probably going to be the RODE Video Micro. Got to get these names right. It's about $60 or 1,300 Rand if you're in South Africa. Kind of an entry-level microphone, but not bad at all. Next up, we're going to have this guy on my chest, which is the RODE SmartLav Plus. Also between $60 and $80, 1,300 bucks here in South Africa. Not too expensive. Next up, and this is quite a good bang for buck microphone, is this one over here, the Sennheiser E835. It's a dynamic microphone, and if I remember correctly, it's about $99, let's call it $100 on Amazon, and 2,500 Rand thereabouts in South Africa. I was going to say lastly, but it's not lastly. Second to last is the RODE Video Mic Pro Plus. This guy over here. If I remember correctly, it is about $250, and that equates to about 6,500 Rand here in South Africa. Now, this is a slightly older unit. You do get a newer version of this. I think it's called the RODE Video NTG. Also about $250. It's basically going to do the same thing. There are some other specs. So actually, talking about that, I've left links in the description to each one of these microphones. So guys, go to the links, click on the links, read about each microphone, and go read the user reviews. The feedback that people have given you or given to everybody about the microphones and their experiences. Don't just take my word for it. So go and click on each one of those links and check them out, and then make your decision from there if eventually you do want to purchase a microphone. And then last but not least is this one, the Mac Daddy in my collection. It's the RODE NTG5. And that is approximately, I think it's about $500, or in South African terms, it's, fok, but how much? So I guess the question, while we're listening to all of these microphones, is which of the 5 microphones here is my favorite? And I've definitely got to say it's this guy over here, the RODE NTG5, and that's what you are busy listening to now. It's quite natural sounding, and it's got a nice, real full sound. Well, at least to my ears. It's not the most convenient microphone to use, especially with us that use mirrorless or DSLR cameras. These small cameras don't generally have XLR inputs. Although some of them do, some of the bigger, or I should say the bigger, not the bigger, but the smaller cine cameras have got XLR inputs. So in that case, it is quite convenient. Just remember to turn on the phantom power, otherwise it's not going to work at all. But other than that, if you do want to use it with a mirrorless camera, as most of us have got, what you're going to need is a field recorder or some sort of input device. So I use the Zoom F6, as I said earlier. It's a wonderful, wonderful little recorder. Link in the description if you are interested in reading the specs on that guy. Go check it out. It's pretty cool. So yeah, man, and I use this thing all over the place. Now, maybe you guys are already saying, yeah, but Grant, that's a shotgun mic. It's meant for outdoor recording. It's not meant for in a studio or in a really small space. It doesn't really work well. Guys, yes, I do agree with that. You're going to find a lot of microphones can do multiple jobs, and proof is in the pudding. You can actually hear what it sounds like now. I use it for voiceover, and I also do use it in some of my intro videos, which you guys have seen it actually in the videos. So the proof is in the pudding. It does actually work. I must say, though, if you do have a space that you're trying to boom, or if you do have a hard space where it's not acoustically treated and you're trying to do an overhead boom, indoors, it's not really going to be the best microphone. But overall, it's actually a pretty good deal for $500, and it's going to last you a long time. It's an RF bias microphone, so it's a very hardy microphone. It's not really affected by moisture or water, or it's just generally a hardy microphone. So check that one out. Secondly, I was actually pleasantly surprised with this one. My second choice is going to be the dynamic that's in front of us here, the Sennheiser E835. Now, this is quite new to my collection, and I've got 3 of them. And that is what you're listening to at the moment. So, guys, just also bear in mind that this is a dynamic. They're not as sensitive as, say, the NTG5, for that matter. But because it's not as sensitive, it actually helps you out in places like little rooms that aren't very acoustically well treated. So a prime example is exactly where I'm sitting, in the garage. If I didn't have this acoustic treatment around here and I was talking into this microphone, it would sound pretty similar to this because it's not very sensitive. It's really only picking up our voice directly into here, and it's rejecting a lot of what's happening behind it. It's not, because it's not so sensitive and because of its polar pattern. So fairly happy with this. And, something I've wanted to, not really wanted to say, but, you guys might be saying, well, what are you going to use that for? And we use it for our little podcast type of show. And already a lot of you guys are going to be saying, well, yeah, but the popular microphone is the Shure SM7B. Well, yes, I agree. That is the popular microphone. But this one's $100. The SM7B is $400. So let's say you've got yourself and 3 mates. You've got like an epic podcast series that you want to do. So you're going to go rush out and buy 4 SM7Bs. That's $1,600. And you're not even recording or streaming yet. Pick up 4 of these. That's $400. One of those, the Zoom F6, or for any recorder, maybe the RODE Procaster, if you want to do live streaming for the podcast. You're sitting at that's about $650. The RODE Pro Podcaster is about $600. So you're sitting at, let's call it $1,050 odd. and you're recording and streaming, and you've got 550 left in your pocket burning a hole there. So it's really, really good bang for buck. And I can guarantee you, I don't know if you actually get a word like that, but I can guarantee you that don't worry that everybody says, oh, maybe if he had an SM7B, then I would watch, but because he doesn't have that, I'm not going to watch. That's absolute rubbish. You guys are not going to really notice the difference in quality. These mics, they work perfectly well for $100 in that matter. So that's why it's my second favorite. Third in the list is it's a combination now of the VideoMic Pro Plus and I've got to remember this, the Smart Lav Plus by Rode. I say it's a bit of a toss-up between those two, and just as a reminder, at the moment we are talking, or you're listening and you're hearing this one over here. When you're in the garage, this is a general use case. When I'm in the garage and I'm recording and moving around, like you guys might be moving around quite a lot, then you want to record audio that is around your person. Now, I'll show you. There's, maybe it's not the best sounding lavalier. You do get better, but obviously they get more expensive. But check this out. For whatever it was, $60 or $80 for this thing. If you are moving around, and I mean, she's nearly tripped over the light there. If you're moving around and I'm working in this space over here, and as you can hear, the sound has changed a bit because there's no audio, there's no acoustic treatment here. At least you've still got your audio. I mean, compare that to, let's switch over to the RODE NTG5. That's like 8-10 feet away. At the moment, it sounds really crap. But if we change back to our lav, which is, not, again, it's just average, it's going to give you a much better sound. So, moving back closer, if you're going to do close-up work, got to get back onto the chair here. If you're going to do close-up work, then don't really worry too much about the lav. Try and get yourself another microphone. Although a lot of people use these successfully, so don't get me wrong with that. But as I was saying, it's a toss-up. So when I'm in the garage, I do use this, but I prefer the audio quality of the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. It just gives us a better sound. And this is really, really convenient because you just clip it onto the camera, you plug it in, and then you're ready to go. You can run around, you can put it in small spaces, and you are capturing fairly good audio that is more than usable for any YouTube video. So that's why this one is so is so convenient to use. It's also quite nice because it's got batteries. It's got a rechargeable battery. You can run it on AA's, if I remember correctly. It's got safety tracks built into it, where it records one track, or say the left, at a higher level than the right. So just some safety features there. And if you look at the newer one, the Rode VideoMic NTG, that one you can also plug into your computer. So you can use it as a dedicated mic for your computer over USB, and it's got a little volume control on the back, if I remember that correctly. And you can also plug a pair of headphones to monitor audio into that. So if you can't find one of these, check out one of those. Maybe do a nice comparison. But really, this is quite a nice microphone in my opinion. And then the underdog, I suppose, the last choice is this, the Rode Video Micro. Now, this was my first microphone that I bought many years ago when I still was buggering. I pretty much am still buggering around, but when my videos weren't very good quality, I bought this to put on top of the GoPro, and because we know the GoPro Hero 5 has got atrocious audio. Of course, they have over time improved, but one of these little guys makes the experience a lot better. Even if you don't want to put something as big as the VideoMic Pro Plus on the top of your camera, these work really well. They don't take batteries. They run off the power that is from your camera, and this is what they sound like. You've been listening to it now for the last couple of seconds, and it's not bad. It's surprising for only, I think it was about $60. Really surprising, the audio quality that you get from this little microphone. So chaps, that's it. I hope you found the video useful, and I do hope I was able to properly demonstrate the different sounds between the different microphones, or the sounds that they capture. I mean, they're quite different in each respect. Of course, they are slightly different designs and they are made for different things. But, hopefully it helps you make up your mind as to which microphone you want to purchase. Also, please help support the channel by using the links below and leave comments. I really, really want to hear from you guys. What do you think of the microphones? And maybe you've got some tips and tricks that I can use to improve my audio. Otherwise, subscribe if you haven't already, and give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Guys, really, thanks for watching, and I guess we'll see you next time. Cheers.